I was not going to go that far, obviously.
Well, that was no fun last night. Now, did you watch local or national?
I
Doris.
watched...
Yeah, Doris.
I watched local.
Okay.
It was on mute.
I started out on local, and then I migrated because I wanted to see how the national was dealing with the blowout.
I'm gonna put myself in the mercy of the court here. I had no idea that it was even on nationally. I'm sorry.
Well, only because they had,
I'm sorry.
They had Inside the NBA yesterday, so I had to go switch over at halftime to see what they were saying.
I don't know where to go anymore. I go to look for Cavs games as I would building a football team inside out. So I'm going to go to their flagship number one, and if they're not there, then I will go a-searching. And I found them right there. I got home because, well, honestly, they were on in the studio. I did the Browns show yesterday, and they were on. Meredith put them on in the studio. So I'm like doing the show and keeping an eye on them. Got home and just went right to it. I just figured it was on. I'm sorry, guys. I had zero clue it was on ESPN last night.
Well,
and
I think most
I won't
people
know it's on Peacock until I go, okay, it's not here or whatever. I'm going to go to Peacock now. Like, that's how it's going to work.
That's the difference between the companies, though. It's usually on locally when it's on ESPN. You usually get both of those, unless it's like the feature ESPN game with Breen.
Yeah, it was always sporadic when it would be blacked out and when it wouldn't be. So I was always confused about that, but... You had your Doris. I thought you had your phone set up for alerts anytime Doris Burke was doing a Cavs game.
The only thing they're going through so many changes, honestly. Like, I mean this. I love Doris. I have the clip of her saying hi to me on Zach Lowe's podcast. That's still saved because I'm a big Doris Burke fan. I've been a Doris Burke fan since I started watching basketball, and she was on it, to be honest with you. I had no idea. I figured, well, they took her. I just figured they took her off the broadcast altogether, and she was doing something else in the studio or something like that.
She definitely got demoted.
I don't know,
for the guy that we had on last week, Tim Legler. Who's
I got nothing
been
against
awesome.
him. I got nothing against him. That's the thing. Like if they were like, well, we're getting rid of Doris Burke and putting on Kendrick Perkins, I'd go, what are you doing? But he knows what he's doing. I'll be honest with you. I like Mark Jackson in the past. There's a lot of guys I've liked. But I'm just going to, I don't know necessarily where to find it. God, I sound so old and I can't be helped. But I just go inside out. And I'm going to go to the flagship first. And if it's not there, then I'm going to go somewhere else. And that's sometimes to my detriment, and I'm not going to get into all that. But that's how it's going to go. And so there you go. And so I ended up watching it on there, and I ended up watching a low volume. And, it was a bad night. It started off not great, then the night got worse.
No, I mean, it started out great. They were 10 of 12 from three-point range.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I did have half an eye on it,
and
but
Donovan
I didn't think
Mitchell
it was good.
hit this insane buzzer beater to end the first quarter.
Well, when you got...
And then they scored 18 in the second quarter.
Well,
and then I think, only had one more basket the rest of the game.
This is the issue. When you have...
And they didn't get a single rebound off a missed Boston three.
Against one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the NBA.
So let's the Cavs report brought to you by Surfside. This is the earliest we've ever done it. 6:07, right on the dot for those of you scoring at home. This Cavs report brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. It's time to go surfsiding with the Cavs. Do you want to get into the rebounding first, or do we want to get into the... Well, I mean, it goes along with Evan, even though he had 11, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, this should have been a game that...
What do we want to do here with Evan?
Well, hold on. This should have been a game that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen feasted. This should have been a game that they absolutely imposed their will. Did you see the shell of what's left for the once proud Boston Celtics? The team they were going up against. I'm going to go through... the starters here. Josh, is it Minot?
Yes.
Minot?
No.
Minot? Minot.
I thought it was Minot.
Minot. Yeah.
That was Josh Minot.
Okay.
Well, there's Josh Minot. There's Minot, North Dakota, right?
Yeah.
Correct. That only has one T, though.
Oh. Minot. Josh Minot.
And Minotti's, which I know, has two T's.
Love me, love Minot. Then there's Neemias Queta.
Pretty wild on social media over there when they start sending me their opinions on the Browns. I go, oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Are we in our cups a little bit, boys?
Save the good stuff for later.
Nice,
all right.
folks.
Neemias Queta, who I'm sure you had never heard of before this game. Utah State. We know the head coach of Utah State, Kenny.
Where's our gear?
We're still waiting for our gear.
Where's our gear? I know it's hard to find a 4X
Coach Calhoun.
It's amazing. I wore a NDCL sweatshirt by accident last Friday. Nice people. I didn't know they were playing a rivalry game that night.
Put it on purpose.
But you got run for it.
Be naked.
But I got run for it. Now I'm getting a bunch of people wanting to send me sweatshirts over here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, hey, Utah State just waiting.
And you Euclideans
2
and
seasons.
St. Joe's alums, VA St. Joe, just get to Coach Calhoun, get us our gear. All right.
And all you others that have high school football programs, I'll do John Gruden unboxings right here live on the air. I do not care.
That's incredible.
You send it right here to the station.
We're stealing his idea now.
4X tall, and what do you got? A large?
Stealing any other ideas from him?
What do you got in there?
Give me like a 3.
3X. 3X. So you get 3X, 4X tall, and what do you got
again? If you want to send me a medium and a large, and I'll send back the one that it varies.
There you go.
Mileage may vary.
Yeah, we'll make sure we'll take care of
one of my kids.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Derek White
was a fluctuator.
Derek White, who we know, but instead of just being a role player, he's going to be a shot chucker. Apparently, he took 20 shots. Yeah. He was not good. Jaylen Brown. He always feasts on us, regardless. We have no wings to guard him. And Peyton Pritchard, who is terrible. And somehow that team destroyed us. They had Sam Hauser off the bench. He went 7-13. Overall, they hit 21 threes. We had 17. It's amazing. If in the Mark Price era, if you had 38 threes between two teams, they'd say, "Oh, was that the best of 7 series?" No, that's just one game where both teams actually went ice cold in the second half.
But we gotta have ourselves we gotta have an Evan Mobley conversation. What? Okay. So what? We played 5 basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
I saw my mentions last night. So guys, I don't know if he's going to get there. I'm just telling you, he desperately needs to get there. This is turning into the Mitch Trubisky thing. Ken, you really like Mitch? Yeah, I did. I never wanted us to draft him. There's a big, big difference. I only tell you, I don't know if Evan's going to get there. I only tell you that he has to get there for us to actually contend for an NBA title. The rest of this is just having fun during the regular season. We're still in summer fling mode here. This is, in the words of, is it Demi Lovato? We're cool for the summer.
Yep.
Here we go. That's all, man. It ain't serious until he's serious. And I saw your tweet last night, and I go, damn it, he's right. They don't come out and guard him. Go ahead. Take it. Go right on ahead.
Yeah, he's up to 6.4 threes a game, which is, I have to be honest, it's what a lot of us wanted to see was Tim ratchet up the threes. But part of it was we thought by year 5 it would look a lot more fluid. And then it would send defenses scrambling because they'd be running out at him, and then he'd be making plays. It would open up the rest of the floor for everybody else.
Also, if the only guy that can rebound the missed threes is the guy that's taking the
three, that's tough.
That's a problem.
You got to be very specific with your miss if you want that ball to come back to you. That's the hard part about it, Kenny, is he does not look fluid. They basically told him to start the year, hey, we're not really all that concerned about anything except you making a leap. So we're going to put the ball in your hands like you're Giannis. Or I guess Giannis isn't even a good example because Giannis just cut the threes out of his game completely. But
look at your phone when you get a chance.
It's going to be your ball is in your hands. Be aggressive and play like a unicorn and play like a 1A. Remember, his trainer just hours before the season started said, oh, yeah, he has a chance to be the best player in the NBA. And then I look at him and I compare him to Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even Chet Holmgren has been way better than Evan Mobley so far this year. How is Evan going to look like he's looking now?
So this is the weird thing.
Paying off what his trainer is saying to be the best player in the whole league, one of one.
I don't hold him to that. It's so weird. I don't hold him to that standard I would Wemby. I mean, I heard about Wemby. I mean, it was like a big... Remember, you made a big thing that I wasn't doing the fans a service, not watching a guy in France that we were never going to draft, that we were never going to have. And you're like, Ken, you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. I go, I don't know when they're playing basketball in France. I've never watched basketball in France. So, Ken, these games are on in the States. I go, I understand that, but I don't know when they are, and I got other things I got to watch. And you went after me for it. Okay, well, that comes with a set of expectations for Victor Wembanyama. And then you also have Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren didn't get to play a lot. He got hurt. Chet Holmgren comes with a set of expectations. There was never that zeal for Evan. I mean, that all said, it sounds like I'm making a giant excuse for him. I'm really not. Because, guys, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. He's got to shoot threes. So he's got to try to keep chucking threes because eventually he's got to start to hit them so he can pull defenses out and space the floor and make everything easier for everybody else. So they're doing, I know you guys are pissed. They're doing exactly what you need them to do.
It was the plan.
This is what the plan is. And some nights, yeah, I know you're upset because you're playing a down Celtics team that came in there. They were 1-3.
Yeah.
You're playing a down Celtics team. They got injuries. You got Jaylen Brown limping around the place. I get that, man, but this is part of it. This is part of it. So I know you guys are mad. I guess I have to say, stay the course. Stay the course. I'd rather do this than having to see. I'd rather go down this way than Donovan Mitchell just taking over and beating the Pistons by 20.
So this is a very unique scenario. Normally, when guys are drafted on bad teams, and Evan has been on decent teams really since moment one, right? At least 500 teams. Yes. Like he's been on decent teams. Normally, when a very good player gets drafted, gets drafted at the top, they go to a terrible team, and then the ball is in their hands from moment one, and you figure it out because your talent ends up superseding everything else. With Evan, he's been on these good teams, and he's been playing with Donovan freaking Mitchell, who was All-NBA first team last year and deserves some MVP consideration. And so Evan's never been the focal point, so he missed that opportunity for him just to have the ball in his hands. Yeah. Like on bad teams, you look every night on bad teams, guys just get the ball, and it's like take 25 shots, take threes from everywhere. But Evan's never had that, and yet they're trying to sell him as a unicorn that can be a top 5 player in the league, but he's never had that runway to just have the ball in his hands nonstop, and so he's not comfortable. So it's year 5, and he's kind of missed that development part of it, to just be a good player on a bad team, so make all your mistakes. Instead, they're force-feeding him the ball now on a team that's a championship contender, and it's, hey, let's see it. Let's see the leap. And he's clearly uncomfortable with that role. It's affecting him in every way.
Well, I'm sorry, buddy, but this is what you got to do. I know you're uncomfortable. I'd rather you be uncomfortable in October. This is just what they have to do. I'm not budging from this. It's not fun. It's not fun to have everybody mad. It's not fun to have everybody call out Evan Mobley. This is the only way through. And we may find out at the end of the year, guys, it's not like I'm not listening to reason and won't say like, oh, no, Evan Mobley's great. You guys just don't know. No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying he has to get there. I don't know if he's going to get there. In fact, I mean, it's been a few years. I think that the odds are probably against him at this moment of getting there. But I'm telling you, I'd rather just win 50 games and get in, or 50 or 51 games and get in as a 4 seed or even a 5 seed. I don't even care about home court advantage. And just, if he's better at what we need him to do, you'll be happy that we went through this for the postseason. But if he's not, we're just wasting our time. Everybody's wasting their time because this is just not a championship team when they were previously constructed, where everything just went, okay, we're going to go out and we're going to try a few things, and then Donovan's got to take over in the fourth quarter. Whether it be because guys are too young and don't take it seriously enough around him, Darius is what some people were said before, whether it be because of certain guys not willing to pay the physical toll like we've talked about before, whether it just be where your roster construction is not the same type of roster construction. I don't even mean to get nasty. If your roster construction isn't even the same as some of the other ones that are much better suited to win in the postseason. Well, you got to find that out this year. I mean, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of time. I mean, everything was fun and hunky-dory 2 years ago, and then even last year in the regular season. Those times are done, man. Those times are done. The regular season is a giant preseason to get you ready for the postseason. And so, yeah, I'll continue to come in here, and if he looks uncomfortable shooting threes, eventually I'll have to change my tune. But this is what you need to do. Stay the course. Stay the course. And deal with the loss. Wear it. Be a man. The Evan Mobley stuff, guys, this is what it looks like. This is what, if you guys want to have a better chance at playing in June, this is what it is. This is what you got to deal with. So I know we're going to get a lot of anti-Evan Mobley stuff coming up here in just a second because there's some callers champing at the bit. But damn, Sam, like you're going to have to do this.
So, by the
you're
way,
going
you
through
said,
growing pains, quote unquote, already again with a guy who's in his 5th year.
You said anti-Evan Mobley, who is reigning defensive player of the year. We gotta make sure
you're going to get some angry, not anti, but you're going to get some angry Evan Mobley.
We got to make sure this is in context. Was he third team All NBA? So I think he was hovering around that. Either way. He's been, I think the Ringer had him as a top 15 player, maybe all the way up to number 12. So Evan Mobley's really good, and we are blessed to have him. He is a big-time game changer.
It's a blessing.
He was a second-teamer last year.
He was second-team All-NBA.
And player of the year.
You never say that about Browns players. You never say, we're blessed to have Carson Schlesinger.
He's not playing this week, right? Or next week?
He's not playing next week?
Nobody's playing this week.
No one's playing this week. Go ahead. What are you saying about Evan?
No, Evan Mobley, depending on what list. All right, the Ringer has him 16th. He is an unbelievable player to have. He's so valuable to everything they do. I think what happens is we are constantly having the conversation about the Cavs are loaded. We have so much talent. We had plenty of talent on the floor last night to get a win against, beleaguered Boston. But, even if everything is all systems go with everybody, we know how different the playoffs are. That's when a guy like Evan is so much more important than even the regular season because he's offering rim protection. The scores are down. The possessions are down. You're allowed more physicality. And so that's where the Cavs defense should take this huge step forward and have this massive advantage. And against the Pacers last year, we didn't. Our defense was terrible. They were killing us off the dribble. And then the rim protection wasn't there because everybody was out of sorts. And then offensively, we were injured. I mean, that's a big part of it. Obviously, Darius and Evan, had the bumps and bruises, more so for Darius. But still, I thought they had enough talent to win that series. And the hard thing is, when you rely on the guards and the small guards, it's tough for them to get through the gauntlet of the playoffs with all the increased physicality. Defenders can now hold you and prod you and keep their hands all over you. And you're not just marching to the foul line like you are in the regular season, especially the first few weeks. And Donovan Mitchell has been absolutely spent after 2 rounds of the last few playoffs. He had nothing left. And what do you know? They lost those series. So what you need is other guys to elevate. Well, Evan Mobley is that guy.
So you agree with me overall? It's frustrating. Well, this is what you need to do. Even last night, even when you lose. I mean, that got ugly at the end. Even when you lose, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
So you agree with me?
I just wish by year 5, it wouldn't be such a mechanical, on this possession, they have called my number. I have the ball. I am going to the basket. I am going to pump fake. I am going to spin. I'm going to pump fake again. I'm going to put it up. No matter what. That's not unicorn basketball.
When you treat him like a giant toddler throughout the early part of his career, that's what you're going to have happen, because I think and we've done this with other guys, and I'm not even being critical of fans here. I'm being critical of the way the Cavs have handled it to some degree, but at the same time, they had to do what they had to do. They had to win games. And when you get Donovan Mitchell at the very beginning, you want to see what you have with Donovan Mitchell, because he's the vastly superior player to what you have with all the other ones. Now, he might not have the most pure ability or pure ceiling, highest ceiling, the way that an Evan Mobley would, but these are things that you kind of had to go through. So I understand some of the stuff that's done in the past, but when you have a guy like Evan Mobley, nice guy, not an ass kicker, it's going to be very hard to do that. And I don't know if he has the natural confidence the way that a lot of NBA guys have. Like, there are guys, J.R. Smith was the most confident guy on the floor every single night. Damon Jones, which I know that's not the greatest example right now, was the most confident guy on the floor every single night, because they knew what they had to do and they were paid well to do it. For Evan, I think there's some confusion on what you need to do.
Well, that's why I thought this would be a great opportunity. I know we'll go to the phones here. Yeah. I thought it was a great opportunity to not have Darius, not have Max. People were looking at it from the negative perspective. I'm like, guys, they're going to win a ton of games. They're going to be so much better than so many teams that they play this year. But I thought this would be the opportunity for Evan to just make that leap, because it would just come to him. Instead, they're forcing him to try to do that, and it clearly is something he's not comfortable with right now.
Mike in East Cleveland, you're first up on the Fan. Hello, Mike.
What's up, Ken? What's up, Lima?
Yo.
All right. I just want to make a couple points. I'm not going to be long, though. So my first point is that, like, I called last week and I said that the Cavs are really just badly structured. I really don't know why Kobe gets so much credit for the roster he built when it's redundant and non-complimentary. And it looks kind of bad now. Just wait till Darius Garland and Max Strus comes back. And how does that Lonzo Ball signing look? Was he supposed to be a sharpshooter? But my point is about Evan Mobley, because like I said, I called last week.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought he stretched things out pretty well last week.
Lonzo, I mean, it's not that it's not the ones he makes that's the problem.
I don't understand his shot selection. His shot selection is LaMelo Ball, not Lonzo. I don't know where he came in thinking he could take 30-footers. He's shooting 20% from three. The passing is beautiful.
What you sign him for? You want him to go out there and take shots when he comes in. That's
I don't think the Cavs signed him to take 30-footers.
Oh, I disagree. I think listen, it ain't the most ideal thing in the world, but they want him to shoot. Shooters are going to shoot, and he's going to take some silly shots. I wish he knew his spots on the floor a little bit better.
He's never been a shooter.
I understand that, but again, what were one of the big things that they kept saying when they got him? Okay, we were worried about his health, but it's also he's going to shoot. He's going to shoot the bleep out of it. That's what they kept saying.
Yeah, see, and like I say, that's a foundational thing. That's because who gets Lonzo Ball? Like, let's turn him into Steph Curry. He's never been that. But please let me make this last point. Let me make my last point, and you can let me go.
Yeah.
About Evan Mobley. Like, I'm not saying trade him. I'm not saying blow it up. He sucks, but he's not a unicorn. The Cavs will never take that championship step until they say, hey, guys, he's just 19 and 7 rebounds. We can do something with that, but he's not Kevin Garnett. He won't be Wemby. He's not any of those people. We can't build around him because, like you guys have already said, he just doesn't have the confidence in himself to believe it. When he gets the ball, he's weak. Like, I'm 5'9", 140 pounds. He plays like I would play against those big dudes. He just stand out there and chuck threes. When you look at the guys like VJ Edgecombe, Wemby, Anthony Edwards, Chet, they all immediately impacted their teams for the better. But we got to wait 5 years for Evan.
Well, hold on. Evan immediately made them one of the best defensive teams in the league from day one.
You're right. You're 100% right. And like I said, you are the basketball guru. I'll give you that. You're right. But you don't draft somebody in the top 5 lottery pick to be a defensive stalwart. You draft them to change your franchise. He hasn't done that. He won't.
That's true. He's absolutely. You can't argue with him on that.
Yeah,
thank you for the call.
I'm a little conflicted because
he's right.
Like he's describing who he just described as like DeAndre Ayton, like an 18 and 10 guy who doesn't impact winning. Guys, Evan impacts winning in a huge way.
But when we talk about the defense, like I think people are tired of hearing about the defense, and I don't think they want it to look clunky. The thing I would say to Mike is that the only way out is going to be through. So guess what? Tomorrow. You're going to be force-fed right there on the floor. Until you get comfortable, this is what's going to happen. You better get comfortable in doing something that's uncomfortable. That's the only way we're going to get further in the postseason. They're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. I can't bitch because they're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. And there may be a time where it's like, all right, this is done. We got to start winning some basketball games here. People are going to freak out. I hope it doesn't get to that. But it might reach a point in February. It's like, all right, we got to get going. We got to, and maybe there's some roster moves to make at that point. I'm not sure. But you're not going to get complaints from me from doing what I want them to do. Rodney and Litchfield, go ahead.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Before I talk about Mobley, I want to say what an entertaining World Series we have. It's just too bad that both teams have such large payrolls. That's the only thing that frustrates me about baseball. But Mobley. Okay, can anybody dispute with me that he's gotten better every year?
I think he has.
He has.
Exactly. He's gotten better every year. If he was the biggest problem we had right now, I'd be doing cartwheels. He's not the biggest problem we have. Allen getting outplayed by stiffs in the playoffs, outmuscled by stiffs in the playoffs, and I know that's part of Mobley's job is to not get outmuscled. That's a bigger problem we have right now. Talking about Evan Mobley like he's the biggest problem we have, I think it's an absolute joke.
Well, he's not the biggest. Well, Rodney, let me tell you, he's not the biggest problem, but I think he's the most concerning because he has the highest ceiling. For Jarrett, I mean, we could trade Jarrett Allen during this season, but it's still going to boil down to what can Evan do to create opportunity for himself, but more in terms of Donovan Mitchell and to a lesser degree Darius Garland. Like the offense, again, it's going to have to run through him. Go ahead.
Did he disappear in the playoffs last year?
Who?
Look up his numbers. Mobley.
No, I think you're going to say Jarrett Allen disappeared in the playoffs. I don't disagree with you, but like I'm still. Rodney, I mean, we're kind of on the same page. We're arguing two different things.
Yeah. He's not Michael Jordan.
Oh.
But he's a hell of a good ball player. My God, he posts guys up when he's supposed to. Underneath the basket, he's a beast. And he's trying to get better at shooting threes, which he's done every year. I mean, if you guys want to talk about Mobley, you can talk about him all you want. He's not the problem.
Well, but I also think, Rodney, and thank you for the call. I'll say this. When it comes to Jarrett, I just see him as the easiest move piece of the core four. And so I don't put as much on him because I'm like, he might not be here in March.
Yeah.
That's much easier said than done with what they've got to do with their roster in the second apron. I know that.
Listen, in the NBA, it's about your best players, in almost 95% of the situations. And Mobley is not a problem. I totally agree with the caller. He's not a problem. The question is, can the Cavs be championship contenders with Donovan Mitchell as their number one, meaning Evan has not ascended to be the number one? And what I've seen so far in the postseason is no, they can't win a championship with Donovan because he's on fumes by the end of these series, and that's halfway through the playoffs. There would still be 2 more series. So you would either need Evan to make this huge leap for this construction of the roster to work, yes, with some of those pieces and parts that are redundant, or, Darius would have to turn into Steph Curry. And I just frankly don't see that happening.